Woo, Manic Monday. Good morning, market snappers. Welcome back. This is Jesse getting started. 9:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Got caught up in working on some stuff, trying to get caught up from the baby girl woke up at like 3 a.m. and I offered to be the one to put her back to sleep, put her to sleep, and then put her in the crib. She got up, did this 3 times. Finally, the fourth time, I probably should have done it from the first time, but fourth time, I was like, I'm walking away from the crib. Just just let her put herself to sleep. And she did. And I should have done that from the very beginning. But you know, dad, just trying to rock her to sleep, put her back in the crib, make sure she stays down, and then she ultimately put herself to bed. So lesson learned at 4 a.m. in the morning. Then went and took a nap, and then woke up a couple hours later, and here we are. Uh, Probably need more caffeine, but we'll get through it. We'll be fine. If you're new to the live stream, awesome, welcome. You're probably seeing some rants or rambles along the way, like right now. If you're returning to the live stream, this is not new. This is something you've seen in the past, and we'll try to keep the rambles and rants shorter and just stick to the charts. But uh, first half of the live stream, we'll cover chart requests. I mean, the first half of the live stream, we're going to cover, Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, metals, ETFs, whatever jumps out of this on the watch list. The second half of the live stream, we'll cover your chart requests. So put in the ticker symbol, put in the name of the asset, because some of the crypto stock symbols overlap, and we want to keep the live streaming. So we'll try to keep it all to about an hour total. And but we have been known to go 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We've even done 3 hours before. And but we try to keep them on average about 1 hour. So stick around, stick around. We're gonna get through it all. We'll probably start with silver, gold, and look at the metals. The other metals like copper could be lagging time wise, possibly. So we'll look at that. Platinum, uranium, palladium, all the EMs. We'll take a look at it. But silver, $115 is absolutely going parabolic. So we're gonna get into all of that. Wild times. Look at that gold go. Rick's Moneymaker Shelton, Moneymakers Helton, 8244. What's up? Welcome back. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thomas, Rediker, Hot D Sun, stream reposted. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Raquisha Church. Did I say that correctly? Raquisha Church. Hello, hello, hello. One of the things we like to do, obviously, none of this is financial advice, obviously for educational purposes only, and hopefully we have a little bit of fun along the way. Like making fun of me for being tired, making fun of me for my pronunciations, right? Wes Diddy, my man, who's also been in my wedding as an usher. Welcome back. Wes Diddy is enjoying the gold and silver rise. London, UK, not so sexy news, aka Lawrence. Welcome back. What's up, Lawrence? Lawrence always reposts the stream, comments, likes on both apps. So I appreciate that. Thanks, Lawrence. So let's jump into it. This is the silver monthly chart, and it's going parabolic. And on the monthly chart, even you're seeing where we have a magic wand. It's sometimes when the magic happens, right? You could also say, AKA overbought. Sometimes when the magic happens. And in this case, the monthly chart after the magic wand happened at, just under $40. Price has gone parabolic, right? It's gone parabolic. And it doesn't happen often, but when it does, I mean, it really goes. It really goes. You can see it happened back in the 2010s, uh, happened back here in the 70s with the blow off top to 1980 before I was even born, and here we are now. So if we look at it on a log chart, it doesn't look as crazy on a log chart compared to the 70s, right? So it might not be done. It's ultra bullish, aka overbought, aka sometimes when the magic happens. So I put out the fractal and talked about back in 2024 about the 70s fractal, where it seems like we could be pumping in the 1973, 1974 era. And then price comes back to the trending dots. Price comes back, retests the 200-week moving average, which took about almost 2 years of consolidation, and then one last major push to the end of the 70s up into 1980. Um, I mean, you could put on some like fib extension targets, but it's going parabolic in price discovery. So you could put on ideas of fib retracements plus the cup and handle that I put out. The cup and handle may take years to play out. And that cup and handle pattern that I have on there takes it silver up to $600 to $700, which some people thought that was crazy. Um, but let's see. So this major cup and handle was built over what was that? 30 years. So if this cup and handle were to play out similar to how gold played out, uh, then call it $554, right? So 550, whatever it is. But I put out this fractal from the 70s to show how long it could possibly take, right? If it played out similar to the 70s, where you have that first initial move. I'm just trying to make sure you can see everything, right? So the big cup and handle, the breakout, I was talking about it back in 2024. The breakout, gold was already breaking out to the upside. Gold was already making its move out of a similar looking cup and handle. And so this first initial move I don't know if you can see this, but let me know what color looks best of the blue. But you can see like the blue fractal from the 70s has that first initial pump wherever it goes, right? We're not expecting price to play out exactly the same, but just as an idea, if you see the trending dots here, if you see the 200-week moving average curling up quickly, right? And price is getting multiple deviations away from it. So the last time I touched it, right, it's up 400% above the 200-week moving average. So it's multiple deviations above it. So going back to the fractal from making its move over here, 300% above the 200-week moving average. So it's like call it three deviations, probably more, but just think of it as like, okay, 100% is one deviation, let's say. Someone probably argue that if it's like 50% might be a deviation, but in this purpose, I'm just using 100% as a deviation away from the 200-week moving average. Back in the 70s, it was 300% above it, and it was ultra bullish, and then price came back and retested the trending dots. That's step one. Step 2 is it consolidated sideways for a long time, right? So from wick to wick, consolidated 40 40 months or 1,216 days, or call it, you know, what is that? Over 3 years to retest the 200-week moving average, right? And then from there, once it starts breaking out of that consolidation, from the retest and then the back test, then price starts to go for that one last huge push up before a 30-year cup was being built, right? And a huge bear market. So after this massive bull run, 300%, right? And then from wick to wick, another 1,200%. It doesn't happen overnight, right? It's not crypto. It's not altcoins that can do that in a 3 to 12 month span. We're talking about decades to unfold, right? So, um, seems like we're over here where it's pumping hard on and it's ultra bullish on the monthly chart. And then at some point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months to retest the trending dots. And then, like I said, 40 months to retest the 200-week moving average. And then what if it goes into that next 1,200% move, right? Now, maybe it just goes in the 1,200% move and then comes back for retest. That we don't know. It's already in a 400% move. So, just from the breakout of the cup and handle, and then, of course, you could call it from the breakout over here. But from the breakout from the 200-week moving average, it's already, 4 deviations above versus the 3. So from here with the wick, excuse me, about 400%. Woo! There we go. So 400% away from the 200-week moving average from the breakout. And from the trading dots are way back at $37. The 200-week moving average is way back here at $30. Eventually, price is going to retest it. But it may take a while. It's going parabolic right now. So people are already talking about shorting it, right? This is not, in my own personal opinion, I'm not shorting silver or gold, right? When the higher time frames are ultra bullish, and when the higher time frames are bullish, it's buy the dip season. And you can see the last buy the dip we were talking about during buy the dip season was over here. People are already talking about the rotation back into Bitcoin and altcoins. Way too early to be calling that. And that's what I said. I said it's way too early to be calling rotation into Bitcoin and altcoins. And that silver and gold run is done, right? It's way too early to call that. In hindsight, that was accurate. But that was just my own personal opinion because the monthly chart was ultra bullish. The 3-month chart was ultra bullish. The 3-week chart, the 2-week chart, 1-week chart is all bullish, right? It was bullish. So even over here, I was expecting at least higher prices and maybe it creates bearish divergence first. But that would mean a higher high first. So, in my opinion, it was still buy the dip season. And in hindsight, that was accurate, right? So, still buy the dip season. And of course, everyone's like, well, horizontals are higher probability. Yeah. Yeah. But you missed 12% of the move. So good morning, good morning, good morning, Arnold. Welcome back. Welcome back. So this was the last buy the dip season for silver, and it's just gone crazy after that. $48 up to 115, right? It's crazy for metals to do that. You don't see it very often. That's why there's so much talk about it. But we were talking about it in 2024 when nobody cared. When the experts were making fun of a pet rock, right? Quote unquote experts. When the young guys were making fun of a pet rock, right? Guys in their early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, whatever, younger than me. I'm in my mid 40s. When when they were making fun of pet rocks, we were talking about, hey, on higher time frames, and yeah, of course, it's not sexy, right? It's not sexy like crypto or tech stocks or anything like that. But we were still calling it out that on higher time frames, it's looking like a cup and handle. And even though I don't have, all my eggs in one basket on metals, you know, I do have silver and gold, not as much as some of my friends, but uh but I do have it, right? So try to be diversified out there, but it's a better time to sell into FOMO than it is to buy into FOMO right now, right? So if you're buying silver, like people want to buy it now naturally because everyone's talking about it and they're feeling that fear of missing out, right? Well, in my opinion, you already missed it. Like you're looking at the monthly chart back here at $25, right? Breaking on this cup and handle, and I was posting it back in 2024. That was a good time to buy. $25. Back here, $18, even better, right? But even this breakout on the buy signal on the monthly chart at $25, while everything is kind of lined up, it's a great time to buy. Now it's chasing. Could it go higher? Of course. Of course it could. But it's still chasing. And if you're chasing, you know, there's still there was still a good pullback even over here on the monthly chart you had been chasing, but there was a good pullback over here of like 20 something percent wick to wick, 16.5% wick to wick. So this pullback here was still good enough because it was still by the dip while price was, you know, ultra bullish on the higher time frames, right? Similar with gold. So we were talking about back here, people are calling the tops. And I said, I don't know. It's still by the dip season because we would be looking for a topping pattern as a higher probability with whether that's bearish divergence, whatever the case may be. And the higher time frames are ultra bullish. So we still have to consider it by the dip season, right? So over here, we talked about that. Price went lower and then price broke back out to the upside for a swing trade to the upside on gold. And now gold has hit $5,000, right? So over here, people are calling the top at 4,100, wicked down to 38.88, and then that last buy signal over here, buy, sell, it's battling, right? Buy, price gets back above the trending dots, battles it, retests, and then continues upward, right? So that's silver and gold. And if you look at gold, monthly chart has been ultra bullish, was breaking out of the cup and handle before silver was. And I use this as, hey, silver was breaking out first, right? The monthly chart was November 2022, a buy signal above the 200-week moving average, gets back above the trending dots, breaks out of the cup and handle pattern, battles it one last time, breaks out again, from the cup and handle pattern below $2,000, and it's been going parabolic ever since then back in 2023. So gold led the way of the cup and handle pattern. And that's why in 2024, I posted the silver cup and handle pattern as an idea as well. And it was above the 200. It was breaking out in the higher time frames. It was bullish, all that stuff, right? But I saw it on gold first. And in hindsight, we had the fib extension on here. We had the cup and handle pattern broke out and went beyond it. So it's crazy to think that gold hit the cup and handle pattern. And if silver were to hit the similar cup and handle pattern, price would be at $550. So will it hit it on the first try? Maybe not. It's possible, but maybe not, because it may take some time to build up, just like the fractal pointed out. But it is possible. Silver has gone 1,200% in the past on one move up, like it did back here, right? So here to here was about 1,200%. So from wick to wick, 1,200%. So it's possible it does it again, right? So that'd be 2,300%. You would think it would need to build up more energy, but I wouldn't rule it out. This is just an idea of that it could take longer for this target to get hit, but it might not. So that's the part where we don't have a magic crystal ball. We're just laying out these ideas based off of what we're seeing on the charts and lining it up with, hey, we're seeing buy signals. We're seeing an upward sloping 200-week moving average. Price is back above it. We got this cup and handle. It's breaking out. Gold was already breaking out and past it, right? So this is silver and gold. We're going to cover also palladium, platinum, uranium, and copper. We'll take a look at those. And then we'll compare it to Bitcoin. And we'll jump into Bitcoin because Bitcoin's dropping. Metals are going parabolic. There could still be some buy the dip opportunities on the other metals that we're going to cover, and so on and so on. But obviously, not obviously, but we've never taken $1 of affiliate money. So we are going to quickly plug. We're just spending like 2 minutes plugging Market Sniper Pro. You can come over here and we're constantly upgrading. We're constantly changing out features, adding to them, building them, the indicators, setups, the recorded coaching, the screener, the dashboard, and so on and so on, right? So all that is included to $49 a month, but not for long, not for long. And it costs money to build all this stuff, right? It costs money to build it. It costs money to run it, all that. So right now it's a steal for $49 a month, in my opinion. Even Mighty Kirk has said that the recorded coaching is worth it by itself. And recorded coaching used to be $79 a month. So it's $49 a month. It's built in. The intelligence is coming soon. We have it, but we are still training it, developing it. It's come a long way already. So we've trained it on all the recorded coaching videos. We've trained it on like 7,500 plus charts that I've posted in the Discord over the years. The screener is going through a massive upgrade again. So it was already awesome, in my opinion. It's not just like a free screener, like on, or included into like a, a trading view screener or a FinViz screener. It's it's built off of like sniper charting, right? So you can start with, thousands. We're going to be upgrading this to like 20,000 symbols in the near future. We're working on it. Right now, there's like 8,800. I'm putting my card down to get even more now that it's working and everything looks great and it's worth it, right? So the more people like you can get in at $49 and we won't ever charge you more than that. I have a problem of reinvesting too much money into all these tools. So I'm continuing to reinvest too much money. And the more people that join the market snipers for $49, trust me, most of it's getting reinvested back in. And I'll be reinvesting it back into additional tools, the AI, which costs money, the ticker symbols to get to 20,000 costs money, the storage, the data plans that we're getting charged for. It's thousands of dollars, right? It's thousands of dollars, and we're only charging you $49, right? Once it's fully built out, even Super Grok and Claude both say it's a minimum $199 a month, right? So that's what it's that would be an extreme value at 199. And if you got in now at $49, we're reinvesting that money into building this out even greater. And B, you'd be locked in at the $49 and well undervalued, right? We will always outperform what we charge. That's my one vow. We will always outperform what we charge. So add the filter on there and just say like direction real quick. Rising. Do you want to do direction? Let's do RSI divergence, right? Let's add MACD bullish divergence as well. You can do bearish divergence too, but that already puts it on there. And then of course, you can do just stocks. You can do just crypto. We don't have a ton of crypto right now, but crypto continues to bleed right now, anyways. And then ETFs as well. But we're gonna be building it out to like 20,000. So there'll be more stocks, more crypto, stuff like that. Uh, and then of course, let's see, add one more filter. MA cross above or below the 200-week moving average, volume, all that stuff, right? RSI, and then let's do say 49 as an example, crossing above. So this is looking for like a bullish setup. Plus, you can add more, right? But just as an idea, you come click on it, and it takes you to the charts, right? So it narrows the list, then it charts it for you. And coming soon, we're beta testing it right now. Coming soon is going to give you a score from 0 to 100 of how likely this breakout setup will be successful. So we're building it out right now. This charting is going to look similar to TradingView, right? It's going to look similar to TradingView. It's going to be a lot more detailed. So I'll have a scoring system. So not just this right now. This, like I said, this is the worst that'll ever be. But already that we've released to market snipers is that it finds the breakout before it happens. It shows the bullish divergence on RSI. It draws the trend lines for you. I did not draw these trend lines. Bullish divergence on the MACD. You can swap the MACD in and out, blah, blah, blah. It'll have a scoring system from 0 to 100 on the probability of the breakout, of hitting, of breaking out and hitting targets. And then it'll even have the targets on there for you. So I won't even have to draw the targets on myself anymore. It's all going to be built in to the algorithm, right? You can push it forward through TradingView and do the targets yourself for right now. And you can draw it out yourself as well, but it's already drawn on the screener for you right now. And the targets will be coming soon. And the probabilities, it's ingredients that we baked in of what are the probabilities that this breakout goes through. It's still a game of probabilities, and it's going to give us a score. So yes, there's 70 plus hours of recorded coaching, and you can learn it all yourself. And or you can just go to the screener, and it's going to find it for you. It's going to chart it for you. It's going to give you a probability of it, and so on and so on and so on. And once you push it through to TradingView, you could set up the bot on it, like maybe even on a lower time frame. And because the daily chart for a stock would be a little bit more difficult, or you could do semi-automation as well, and all connected, right? It will all be connected, and you could set that up, and so on and so on. But we'll have alerts set up, and the alerts will probably go to Discord at first, and also it'll go to the community within our portal. We have a community that we're building out within the portal. And then, of course, coming soon, Sniper Assists, which we're still beta testing. It's thinking right now, but every time we run the AI, it costs money. And we're not going to be charging you extra for that. It's going to be included, but eventually it's going to be such a higher cost. We're going to have to charge more money for the new people. So getting in early helps. This is the Sniper Assist that's going to help with that. We're going to have alerts to alert you. And the plan is that, and then you go to the next one, right? And the next one, and the next one. And the plan is that one day we might have the AI be able to run these settings on a daily basis, find these setups for us, chart these setups for us, give us a probability of the setups working out with targets. And then you could push it through to TradingView, set up the indicator, set up the strategies, all that stuff, and have it running, right, on the breakout, or just manual trade it yourself too, right? All that. So a lot of stuff coming out. So it's kind of like $49 a month kind of gets your placeholder. And where are we at? Let's go back over to here. And silver, right? So it would kind of get your placeholder, find the next step. So instead of worrying about chasing the next move, every day we find the new setups to what we're looking for, right? To help get us in front of the move before it happens, so that you can buy low and sell into FOMO, right? Not buy into FOMO, sell and lose money, but buy low and sell into FOMO, right? So another example, buying low and then selling into the FOMO, like whether that's scaling out or whatever, or, selling or closing below the trailing dots, whatever, however you set up the strategy, right? So all of that, buying low, selling into FOMO, buying low, selling into FOMO, buying low, selling into FOMO. So that's silver, that's gold. Let's take a look at platinum, also going parabolic on the monthly chart. So it's ultra bullish. Feels like chasing right now. Palladium has just flipped ultra bullish. We were talking about it back here. Then there's a buy signal. Then it flipped to 200. and it just flipped ultra bullish this month. Has not made a new all-time high yet. Silver has made a new all-time high. Gold has made a new all-time high. Don't get blocked, bro. Don't get blocked. Uh, Leo, I'll remember that one. I'll remember that comment, buddy. Palladium has not made a new all-time high. Platinum has. Silver has. Gold has. Palladium has not. Uranium has already made a new all-time high, but just flipped ultra bullish. So could there be a lot of room to the upside on palladium? Maybe, but this is all speculation, right? This is all speculation. Can you show Decred crypto? Is that the ticker symbol? Yeah, give me the full details and I could cover it on the second half. And then copper has not flipped ultra bullish yet on the monthly chart. It is making new all-time highs though. Let's see. From here, it's up about 48% from the 200-week moving average. So not as high of a deviation. Uranium's kind of getting away from you at this point. 160%. Palladium, 55%. And of course, platinum is adios. 200% already. So that's that. And come over to Bitcoin. So as the metals are going parabolic, or not all of them, some of them could be lagging time-wise. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is not going parabolic. And Bitcoin is in a bear market versus gold, right? So two major things where this time is different, and I posted it on the X app. The X app post that I did was that the two major things. Number one, the 200-week moving average is downward sloping for the first time ever, right? First time ever. So you can see the 200-week moving average up here, the SMA, right? 21.91668. 21.885. 21.898. So it went up a little bit. Went up a little bit. And then started decreasing again. And it's decreasing again. That's on the monthly chart. You can see it better on the daily chart, right? But it's a slow moving average. And this is the first time it's ever happened in Bitcoin history that the downward sloping, like on the weekly chart. So if you look at the weekly chart and the monthly chart, it's the first time ever it started downward sloping. That's not a bullish sign. Oh, it's oversold, so that's bullish. It's not. It just means it's ultra bearish, right? The monthly chart is bearish, not bullish. Just because it's dropping lower than it ever has before. So this is a bearish thing that the 200-week moving average is now downward sloping. On the RSI trend line, going back almost 11 years, act as support, right? So not only the 200-week moving average has been support, battled back, became support, right? The 200-week moving average has lost support. This trend line going back 11 years, bounced, battled, and bounced. It's lost it, right? So two major supports that you have the monthly RSI and you have the 200-week moving average has been support. Not to mention the lower lows and the lower highs, right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low. And the Bitcoin bull runs have been lesser to the upside while this is happening. So is this Bitcoin versus gold bear market almost over? Maybe, because it is pretty low, but it's also this time is truly different because it is the lowest it's ever been. And if you look at the last 11 years, it lost support and it's in a downtrend. So it's never gone all the way down to like the 30 range on the monthly chart. And if it does, that would be a massive drop. Relative strength has never lost this much momentum. The momentum is to the downside. Could you pick the bottom? Sure. They picked the bottom back here in the relative strength August 2025. Okay. Made a new all-time high price-wise on the daily chart. September 2025, it was down to 52. RSI on October was down to 50. November, it was down to 42, right on the trend line. Bottom is in, bottom is in, bottom is in. Here we are. December came down to 42, and now we're down below 40, right? So they've been picking bottoms all the way down. And while relative strength has been leaving against gold and the dollar, if the dollar wasn't crashing, Bitcoin would be a lot less against the dollar. So if we look at other currencies, maybe it looks even more bearish, possibly, because against gold, it looks really bearish. Against the dollar, which is also correcting at the same time, doesn't look as bearish, but it's still dropping against the dollar. That's mean, Muddy Creek. That's mean. Yeah, you don't want to be a perma bull or a perma bear. You want to be a market sniper, a swing trader, someone with a clear lens. But that would be crazy. Could be a great buying opportunity, but we would be waiting to buy the right dip, right? Buy the right dip. They've been calling the bottom all the way down. On the monthly chart, relative strength is leaving. The momentum is to the downside. It's going to take some time for the ship to get turned around. Even back in 2021, 2022, say that was the bottom, June 2022, it still took December 2022 creating bullish divergence. And then it was January 2023 when we were buying the right dip. We were buying the right dip. It still took another 6 months, 7 months, right? So even if this is the bottom, Bitcoin versus gold, and it might not be, like this is like your best case scenario, like similar to 2022, where it creates that bullish divergence, it would still take time, right? So if that was the bullish divergence, and say this is, oops, and that's how it plays out, similar to over here, but more bearish, right? It would take a while. And we have on our charts that we could be in a bear market. Like if it were to play out exactly the same or very, very, very similar to 2022, the bear market could be till October 2026, right? October 2026. Now, if it's more bearish than that, as there's a couple of reasons why this time is different to the downside, is because of the Bitcoin versus gold. two major things that I've already talked about. Losing this support line. Well, okay. Well, it lost this support over here and then reversed. But also the 200-week moving average is downward sloping. So it's not just one thing. It's a couple things. So that's what we're watching on Bitcoin versus gold. Relative strength continues to leave, and the momentum is to the downside against the dollar as well. Although not as bearish as against gold. And if we're looking over here, even on the daily chart, hit a similar retracement, two similar retracement targets that created this box as 2022. And that was, in hindsight, it looks like a bull trap because it bounced up into the exact same two targets. Then it started to get rejected, sell and close below the trailing dots, sell and close below the upper trend line. This sell took out this pivot point here. This sell took out this pivot point here. Or this one didn't. But this candle closed yesterday, took out this pivot point. There's really only two more pivot points remaining before we're going to see below $80,000, right? So closed below it, came back for a retest, and pushed lower. So showing momentum to the downside. So the horizontal support, guys, there's only a little bit of support left here and here. That's not a lot of support. But you start getting candle closes below there, then the probabilities will continue to increase that you're going to see prices lower than $80,000, right? It's trending that way right now on the daily chart. On the weekly chart, we just had a bearish engulfing candle. So if you take off the indicator for a moment, this will show a green candle followed by a bearish engulfing candle. That is not bullish. Almost retested the trailing dots, but didn't quite get there. It's not how the candle starts, it's how it closes. This candle has started with a wick to the upside at all the way up to 88,750-ish. And it's already starting to push back lower. Now we still have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is a brand new weekly candle. So could take some time for it to play out, could go sideways, could, fill some of this, could come all the way back up to $90,000. A lot can happen within 6 days, right? So it could go sideways. But overall, if you're looking at the possible bear flag scenario, right? The possible bear flag scenario, that brings price back down to, and the timing is a different scenario, but it brings us back down to our main thesis, which was drawn out October 10th on the weekly chart, that price would come back and retest the 200-week moving average. Now there's a bear flag on top of it. But this was our main thesis from back here, October 10th. Now it's looking like a bear flag with a bearish engulfing candle. And my main thesis is still that we're going to retest the 200 before we make a new all-time high. And it could become more bearish after that. So we'll just have to see what the relative strength and the momentum indicators, the MACDs, all that stuff are doing in real time, and wait for a higher probability of a reversal. So that's the weekly chart. I hope you see this message and answer it as well. What message? There, I think I just answered it. So that's the weekly chart. It's bearish. Just had a bearish engulfing candle. The weekly chart just took out that same November 2025 pivot that I was talking about on the daily chart, but the weekly chart already took it out. You can barely see it. You have to zoom in. But if you see the blue line, it closed below it. That signals further downside. It barely did. You have to really zoom in. It barely did by a couple $100, but it did. So this support here, which is not a lot on the daily chart, more so on the weekly chart, support, 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 support. It just closed below it. The probabilities are continuing to increase since we just made a lower low. As time goes on, eventually price is coming back down. We've seen the same thing on December 18, 26, and price rallied for the first week of 20, breaking that suppression. I'm not 100% certain what you're talking about. Are you talking about this weekly support? The difference now compared to all the times that price bounced is the longer that it tests support, it weakens it, and now you just had the first close below it. So again, the closes are more important. It like all these wicks below this pivot point held. Now it closed below it. Long time market sniper, what's up? What's up? My boy, wish more would listen to your wisdom. Completely agree with BTC charts. What are your thoughts on SMR stock for long? I'm bullish on nuclear sector. Yeah, we can take a look at it. SMR. Okay. Welcome. Boom. Are you using the screener or do you need to get set up? Screeners becoming a whole different game. It's not just a screener. It's getting pretty excited about the screener, by the way. So this is the first time the weekly chart closed below this pivot point from November 2025. It's the lowest weekly candle close since April 2025. This weekly candle close is the lowest since here. That is not bullish, right? That is not bullish. Some have called out, have they? This as potential bullish divergence. It could be bullish divergence, but it's too early to say that it actually is bullish divergence because if this week closes below it, right, which it's just hovering above it right now, so it's quite possible it closes below this pivot point, and that's not bullish divergence. It's like pending bullish divergence. If our side were to close above it, okay, then we would call out bullish divergence. It's not bullish divergence yet because this close hasn't. You need like one candle close to confirm it, right? Otherwise, it's just pending because the R side could close lower, and that was not bullish divergence. So be aware of the hopium, be aware of the copium. So let's see. So that's the weekly chart. Looking at the higher time frames, it's still bearish. 2-week chart looks like a bearish engulfing candle. Still below the trailing dots. And I drew this out on a live stream RSI. Like if it were to play out similar to 2022, it could go through this bear market, right? And we'll be ready for that next move higher. We will be ready for it. It's not that time yet, right? You can see even like the 2-week chart, EMA moving down. It'll take time, right? It'll take time. Like that, the blue line, you can see it, right? You see the red line, and then it flips and it create a buy signal. And the probabilities increase, right? So it's in a downtrend. Eventually, it's going to be back up in an uptrend, and that would be when we're looking to buy the right dip. So, let's see what else. That's 2-week chart, 3-week chart, trending downward. Oops. 3-week chart is bearish, similar to over here. Fought it, relief rally. The relief rally is 45% wick to wick. This one has been 21% so far. It's still possible, although becoming less likely, that could retest the trending dots similar to over here. But with the daily chart and everything breaking down, as of right now, it looks less likely. With the bearish engulfing candle on the weekly chart, less likely. Bearish engulfing candle on the 2-week chart. 3-week chart has a bearish engulfing candle. Makes it all look less likely. Many people faded this 3-week chart bearish engulfing candle over here. I pointed it out well in advance before it had a bearish engulfing candle. And I even said, over in here, this is probably the last time you can sell your Bitcoin at $110,000 for a while. And in hindsight, that's been true so far, right? So fade this bearish engulfing candle on the 3-week chart. Cool. Do what you want. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just showing you what I see in the charts. 3-week chart, bearish engulfing candle on the weekly chart, 2-week chart, 3-week chart. Monthly chart doesn't look great. Momentum is to the downside. Against the dollar, it's still more bullish than, say, against gold, right? And here we are. Close, 2 closes above, close below it again, sell signal. Monthly chart is really lagging, right? Really lagging. So maybe this month, not this month probably, but maybe next month we get that sell signal, or the month after that. So maybe February, March, you see a monthly sell signal, but by then price is already so low, right? Sell signal 53%, the wick to wick on that sell signal 63%, right? And then the buy the dip bros become DCA bros. Just zoom out in DCA, but the whole time they're saying buy the dip, 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 buy the dip. And it's deja vu. It's happening again. Similar to 2022 is 2026. Again, the one thing to be cautious on, and is the exact reason why I talk about buying the right dip instead of DCAing, is that we've never seen a 200-week moving average downward sloping on Bitcoin's monthly chart. We've never seen it. First time in Bitcoin history against gold. If that happens against the dollar, it's going to take longer and it'll probably go deeper, right? So the hopium is it's not going against the dollar yet. The it's still upward sloping 200-week moving average, but against the gold, this is the first time it's ever happened in the history of Bitcoin. And then, of course, RSI has never been this low on the monthly chart. It's trending downward. Just because it's the lowest ever doesn't automatically mean it's bullish, right? Doesn't automatically mean it's the bottom, because you could have said that when it was at support up here. Could have said that when it was up here, and many did. And now we're lower, right? So if it's a full reset and it comes back to the monthly relative strength all the way down at 30, let's say, and it's a full reset, it would be really bullish. Really bearish on the monthly chart for Bitcoin, which means price would be probably a lot lower and possibly even lower than target 5, which it hit 5 targets back in 2022 against the dollar. Uh, in this case, uh, it could be even lower than target 5 if the monthly RSI continues to drop below 40, below 35, and all the way down to 30. I would then expect price to be lower. But for right now, we're not even talking about that or worrying about that yet, right? Because we want to stay neutral. We want to stay neutral. So this is the weekly chart that we posted back on October 10th, and we're continuing to watch it unfold in real time. And after that, the bearish engulfing candles, we expect bounces. The trailing dots are coming down on the weekly chart, and everything seems to be right on track. Like it doesn't seem to be off whatsoever. It's not playing out exactly, and we don't expect it to play out exactly. We've been saying that. Also, on Heikin-Ashi, when there's no wick at the we're already an hour into this. We're only on Bitcoin. There's no wick on Heikin-Ashi. That's usually bullish momentum to the downside. I mean, that not bullish momentum. That's strong momentum to the downside. There's no wick at the top. 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 And price is moving down. So is bearish momentum strong bearish momentum when usually, not always, but usually when there's no wick at the top on Heikin-Ashi. So here's another Heikin-Ashi candle with no wick, and price came down to 103. Wick, no wick, no wick, no wick, and price came all the way down to 80,800, right? So that's Bitcoin. Of course, the ETFs are also dropping. Weekly chart. XRP. Let's get off of Heikin-Ashi. Let's get off the log. Daily chart. Still holding for now. Still holding for now. ETH broke down similar to Bitcoin, but instead of a 12% drop, it's an 18% drop. And probably remove these now, right? Probably don't need those on the chart still. Chainlink, Cardano, they all start looking similar, right? Weekly chart, just bearish. H bar back below the 200-week moving average, downward sloping 200-week moving average. XLM near. MicroStrategy. Nasdaq's holding on. Is this going to be an Adam and Eve double top? Maybe. Maybe. We don't know yet. It's possible. If so, and if price were to break this neckline over here, this confirmation line, then we could see prices lower. But right now, it's still holding on for dear life. It's hard to kill a bull. It's ultra bullish on the monthly chart, right? It's ultra bullish on the monthly chart. So 3-week chart, lower highs, while price is making higher highs. Weekly chart, right? So it's hard to kill a bull when, especially in the higher time frame. So it just takes time for it to play out. Takes time, but here we are back on the daily chart, bullish again. So possible Adam and Eve double top. but of course, take out that pivot point and then ultimately take out this pivot point, and this whole idea goes away. So, bullish on the daily chart as of right now. SP 500 will create a lower high, fill this gap. So, gap down, filled gap. What else? What else? Dollar dropping back down. That was not a lower high. One target's been hit so far. This was bullish divergence. We'll see if it puts in a higher low or not. But put in a lower high over here and then just fell right back down. So if it takes out this pivot point, then these targets come off. Right now, just coming all the way back down for a test. It is getting oversold. Could remain oversold, but it is getting oversold on the dollar. The last time it bounced, the last time it was getting oversold, it remained oversold. This time it bounced. This time it remained oversold. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. What else? What else? What else? What else? Covered those. Apple was getting oversold. We talked about it. It's bouncing back into the trending dots. Meta was getting oversold. We talked about it. Looks like a higher low. There's a pretty big gap up here at 742. Be interesting to if we filled that gap on Meta. Google holding on. TQQ holding on. Microsoft. Microsoft was getting oversold. It was getting oversold, oversold, bouncing, but there's still a pretty big gap over here in Microsoft. What else? Amazon. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I don't give I don't give financial advice. So I just show you what I see in the charts, and then you still have to make your own decision. So when many talking heads are calling for $250,000 Bitcoin, and I'm showing that the charts look like they're rolling over, and I'm saying that I think we retest the 200-week moving average before we see a new all-time high. That's just what I see on the charts, right or wrong. And in hindsight, here we are 3 months later, 3.5 months later, and we are closer to me being right or showing that my charts, what I'm seeing on the charts is correct versus Bitcoin did not hit 250,000 by the end of 2025. And then, or $180,000 Bitcoin by the end of January 2026. We're still at $87,000. So, but I don't give financial advice. You still have to make your own decisions. Amazon, Netflix was getting oversold. We talked about that. What if it puts in a lower high and it'd be smaller right shoulder? Maybe it doesn't even get that high up, right? Maybe it's something more like maybe spikes to $100 and then continues lower, right? So that's Netflix. Could be getting a bounce. Could put in a head and shoulder, a right shoulder, and see how it plays out. PLTR trying to hold on. NVIDIA trying to hold on. SMCI bounced. Is the bounce over? Maybe 12% bounce. But remember, the higher time frames are bearish, right? Been talking about it. So, expect the bounces to get sold off when the higher time frames are bearish. Tesla. Trying to hold on. Looks like it wants to break down again below the trailing dots. Could be a sell signal. could close below this upper trend line, and so on and so on. So I think that's about it there. Let's go over some of the requests. Probably not going to be able to capture all the requests just because we've been on it for an hour and 15 minutes already. Let's see. 2 week. I think it's chasing. So don't take this as me trying to be mean. I'm just going to keep it real. Many people want to start buying gold or rotate from Bitcoin or whatever asset after a major move has already happened. It's you, it's most of retail, it's gold is already going parabolic. Could it go higher? Sure, but the price is already going parabolic. Bitcoin's already dropping, it dropped 36%. No, I don't know exactly what it's down now. I'd have to look at it, but at least 30% down, right? And so it's really late. It's really late to the move, right? Like if you're rotating, the rotation is like back here, right? That's like the top of the rotation. This is like more conservative of it breaking down rotation. The weekly chart lines up with that, right? So in my opinion, that's the sniper move to rotate from Bitcoin to gold. That was back in August. Now that it's oversold on a weekly chart, it's oversold on the daily chart. After a massive move downward of 48%, that's when people want to rotate from Bitcoin to gold. Now, could it come down a lot more? Sure. Could it come all the way back down to these levels? Yeah, it could, which would be another 48%. It's possible. Would it most likely bounce first? Probably. Would it take some time to play out? Sure. But the time for it to rotate is back here, in my opinion, on a weekly chart. Daily chart, it's even higher, right? So daily, that's a weekly chart. Daily chart up there at 3250-ish. If you're on even a higher time frame, that would be at 2150. It's just, so I just look at it differently. So back here, I'm very confident at rotating. Here, I'm very confident, very confident, very confident rotating from Bitcoin to gold. Down here, I'm getting less and less confident to rotate from Bitcoin to gold. Why? Because the move has already happened. And a huge part of the move has already happened. And now it feels like chasing. And so for me, I'd rather not chase. I'd rather look for a higher probability of a breakdown. And that would be a higher probability to rotate from Bitcoin to gold, right? In hindsight, that's true. So could it continue lower? Absolutely. Is it a good time to do it now? It's not. I wouldn't be me personally. I wouldn't be rotating right now, but I don't give financial advice. So do what you think. 2 week higher lows though. Clear bear market on all time frames. Yeah. Uh, I mean, soon it will dump. Maybe it's overbought for sure, but in the higher time frames, it might not. So what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Top target for silver. Maybe I'll spend some time and put in the some potential targets that gold has already hit, Mighty Kirk, and I will post it into the website portal. How about that? How about I do that? Um, yeah, I mean that doesn't impact my swing trading whatsoever, so I can't really add value on that for you leveling. So yeah, if I was waiting for that, I would, I'd be way behind the move, right? I'd be way behind, right? That sell signal, like you got the target that was hit, starting to break down, break down, break down, break down. I mean, maybe it's still hovering around here the 30th, but yeah, it doesn't impact my decision making at all. DCR, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see, DCR USDT, Decred Tether on probably Binance, right? So it's been battling the downward sloping 200-week moving average. It spiked above it, came back down, looks like higher lows. This is the daily chart, pending buy signal on the daily chart again. So on the daily chart, it seems like it's the probabilities are getting higher and higher of a bigger move to the upside. Weekly chart, similar thoughts. Weekly chart has pending buy signal, trying to get back above the 200. Could get back above the trending dots. It's taking time. Why? Probably because the higher time frames are still, the 2-week chart is bullish. There was a buy signal. 3-week chart has a pending buy signal, right? Monthly chart has a pending buy signal. So could be that a bigger retracement is coming. A bigger bounce is coming for Decred. I mean, all the higher time frames are bullish or pending buy signals. So pending buy signal, multiple time frames, uh, including weekly, 2-week, 3-week, and monthly chart. So it's been battling over here, buy, sell, buy, right? And just kind of an eyeball test. It's probably hit at least one target so far. Maybe another target would be up here. Like that. Like longer term targets. Like an eyeball tests, right? So if eyeball test one target's been hit so far, it's possible more targets get hit. And I don't, if this does get hit, like the best case scenario is all 4 targets get hit, price goes above it, back tests it, and then takes off to the upside, right? And then you're gonna find out if it's gonna retest that or not. And of course, you got the wick up here as well for former all-time high. But these are the targets for now. Like assuming that all these higher time frames are gonna continue to be bullish, it seems like it could be breaking out right now and back above the 200-week moving average. So It's a lot better time to buy now, in my opinion, than up here. And a lot of people want to buy up here for some reason. And then price drops, 96%. And not a lot of people want to buy down here and see if you get that bounce. And from current price, if it bounces back to up into a similar target as before, 119%, 280%, target three, 425%, four targets, 500%. And we don't know if that's going to happen or not. But when it did happen and spiked all the way up to $70, it happened quickly within a matter of 4 days, right? 4 or 5 days. So not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. What else? Is there any divergences? Mm, there's some divergence here. That's about it. Not really, but possible higher low, higher low. So be interesting to see how the daily and the weekly candles are reversing, right? And close. Uh, mm, what else? Leo's in timeout. I'm not going to answer your questions for your based off your comment earlier. Sorry, I help people who help me. uh, yup. Ivan the Great, welcome back. Please take a look at CVX. Okay. Thank you for asking nicely. I appreciate that. Chevron Corporation. Bullish on the daily chart, but breakout happened. Filled that gap over here. Filled that gap over here. It's back above the 200. Weekly chart is bullish. Daily chart is bullish. Doesn't mean it couldn't come back for a retest, right? There's no sell signal saying it is going to, but 2-week chart is bullish. 3-week chart is bullish. Monthly chart is bullish. So seems like the higher time frames are flipping bullish and getting back above the 200-week moving average. If you drop down to a 1-hour chart, let's say, it's possible you could get some better pricing first. A small gap there. Small gap down here. So it's a pretty big move up, right? 14%, I guess. So if it does, if it's starting to become, it seems like it's becoming buy the dip season for Chevron, right? And things could change because those are higher time frames. But for example, on a lower time frame, if the higher time frames are buy the dip season, right? However, it comes back for retracement, maybe retests the 200-week moving average as an example. comes back for a retest of the trend lines as an example, then it seems like it's setting up for that buy the dip season. So that's the way I have to lean because it seems like the higher time frames are flipping bullish, and you got the 200-week moving price back above the 200-week moving average. And so it just depends on what time frame you're looking at, what the retracement is, is it going to retrace 7% of that 14% move, blah, blah, blah. And then it becomes the next buy the dip, right? So that's kind of the way I look at it. It's through a bullish lens if the higher time frames are flipping bullish. So Soul, I just had it on there and I took it off again. But it's a 1-hour chart. So not much has changed, right? Just continues to be in the downtrend, right? You got the bullish divergence. I mean, even that could be bullish divergence. So if you're hoping for a breakout, you have some hope with the bullish divergence. And maybe the bounce is going to be higher than over here. So you got it. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Bullish divergence, but the cautions are it's a bounce until proven otherwise. Even this bullish divergence could, bounce up into the trailing dots and then just go lower, right? So you're counter trading the higher time frames, the weekly chart, right? So if it bounces or even bounces all the way up into the weekly trailing dots, it's a bounce until proven otherwise. Weekly chart is bearish. 2-week chart, 170. 3-week chart, 170. Monthly chart, 170. Daily chart, 136. And what was the weekly one? 152, right? So 152, 136, 170, 170, 170, right? So if it was bullish divergence and it is going to bounce, then, you still have to expect the bounces to get sold off since the higher time frames are still bearish, in my opinion. So with that, I think we're going to call it on this manic Monday. Hope everyone is had a great weekend. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day, and we'll continue to sniper the markets together. I appreciate all of your support. With that, we will see you on the next live stream. Adios.